Baramati. Today I will discuss about the process of beta oxidation of fatty acids. Oxidation occurs at beta carbon of fatty acid. That's why this is known as beta oxidation. This process was first discovered by the German scientist Franz Knupp in 1904. The actual beta oxidation process is divided into 3 steps. First step is known as fatty acid activation. Second step, that is known as transportation of fatty acyl CoA into mitochondria. And third step is the actual beta oxidation process. This beta oxidation process constitutes 4 reactions. First one is known as oxidation. Second one, it is known as hydration. Third one is known as second oxidation. And fourth one is called as cleavage, or it is called as a thiolytic cleavage. Now let us continue with the first step, that is fatty acid oxidation. All of you know there are different kinds of fatty acids. Some contains odd number of carbon atoms and some contains even number of carbon atoms. Let us take one example of even number of carbon atom, that is palmitic acid. Palmitic acid that consists CS3, CS2, 14 carbon atoms and COOH. This is the palmitic acid. So 14, 15 and 16. So that's why we call it as a 16 carbon containing chain, fatty acid chain, is called as a palmitic acid. Simply we'll write this as, for our convenience, R, CS2, 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 C double bond O, COOH, instead of this structure. Now in the first step, fatty acid activation. So activation occurs when it reacts with ATP and coenzyme A. So after reacting with ATP and coenzyme A, so ATP gets hydrolyzed and it is converted into AMP plus pyrophosphate. Means 2 ATPs are required. The pyrophosphate is equivalent to 2 ATPs that is required for activation process. So this fatty acid reacts with the coenzyme A and it forms a structure known as CS2, 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 C double bond O, C, S, COA, S, COA. This is called as fatty acyl CoA. So this fatty acyl CoA is nothing but the activated form of fatty acid. This activation occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell. Second step is nothing but what? Second step is called as, let us talk about the second step. So after activation, the second step is transportation. Transportation of this fatty acyl CoA in mitochondria, because the beta oxidation process actually occurs inside the matrix of mitochondria. So that's why whatever the fatty acid it is activated in the cytoplasm, that must go inside the mitochondrial matrix for further oxidation process. But this requires, the major barrier is what? Inner membrane of mitochondria. From cytoplasm to matrix there is a barrier. That barrier is called as inner membrane of mitochondria. That inner membrane of mitochondria is impermeable to the fatty acyl CoA or fatty acids. That's why this requires, suppose this is the inner membrane of mitochondria, inner membrane, this is matrix of mitochondria, and this is cytosol. So this fatty acyl CoA, this fatty acyl CoA reacts with one carrier cysteine that is called as carnitine, that is known as carnitine. Now this carnitine, which is located at the outer surface of the inner membrane, reacts with the activated fatty acid, that is called as the fatty acyl CoA. Okay, and this carnitine, it gets converted into carnitine CoA. And this fatty acyl CoA is converted into fatty acids. This fatty acid, it is transported across this inner membrane of mitochondria by certain proteins. These are called as the transporting proteins. They help in transportation of this fatty acid inside the mitochondria or inside the matrix of the mitochondria. Again, in the inner side of the inner membrane, these fatty acids, they are again acylated and they become what? Fatty acyl CoA. So in this way, the transportation of fatty acyl CoA through the inner membrane of mitochondria inside the matrix occurs. Now in the matrix, mitochondrial matrix, fatty acyl CoA are ready for beta oxidation process. Now let us see how the beta oxidation process occurs. That is the third step of beta oxidation. Now third step, that is actual beta oxidation. This is known as third step, beta oxidation inside matrix. Now this beta oxidation process constitutes, as I already said, it is a sequence of 4 reactions. One known as oxidation, Second is hydration. Third one is called as second oxidation. And last one is known as cleavage. So all these four reactions constitutes one cycle. So if we consider the beta oxidation process of palmitic acid, that is CS3, CS2, 14, CO, OH. So after such a 7 cycles, what I said, 7 cycles, there will be generation of 8 molecules of acetyl CoA. So let us always remember that when the beta oxidation process occurs, after one cycle of this, that is oxidation, hydration, oxidation and cleavage, this is one cycle. After such a one cycle, from this fatty acid chain, 2 carbon fragment, it is removed in the form of acetyl CoA. Is it correct? Okay, now, so after such a 7 cycles, this 16 carbon fatty acid, it will be converted into 8 acetyl CoA. So in short, beta oxidation of palmitic acid requires 7 cycles, and after 7 cycles it generates 8 acetyl CoA. Now let us see through the reaction mechanism how beta oxidation process occurs. Low see first step, that is oxidation. Now let us consider the fatty acid R CH2 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 C double bond O S COA. This is one fatty acyl CoA. So as I said, first reaction, that is oxidation. So through oxidation process and by the enzyme known as fatty acyl CoA dehydrogenase, but this dehydrogenase is FAD dependent. So it removes 2 hydrogen atoms, means 2 electrons from this structure, and it is reduced to FADS2. Now this FADS2 then donates the electron to electron transport chain and forms water. But during this process, from one FADS2 2 ATPs are produced. Now what happens during this oxidation? See, from this carbon and this carbon, hydrogen atoms are removed. So structure remains R CS2 CH. Automatically, due to removal of 2 hydrogen atoms, is the creation of double bond between these 2 carbon atoms, carbon number 2 and carbon number 3. So CH C double bond O S COA. Now this is known as delta square trans enoyl CoA. Now next reaction is hydration. So during this process, water molecule is added across two carbon atoms. The name of the enzyme is trans-acyl-CoA hydratase. Trans-acyl-CoA hydratase. So H plus and OH minus. So what happens in the reaction are CS2 CH, this hydroxyl group, it is attached to this carbon, so automatically this double bond is converted to single bond, and hydrogen atom, it is to this carbon, so that becomes CS2 and C double bond O S COA. This is known as beta hydroxy acyl CoA. Why beta hydroxy acyl CoA? Because this is alpha carbon and this is beta carbon. On the beta carbon, hydroxyl group is there. That's why this is called as a beta hydroxy acyl CoA. Next reaction is second oxidation reaction. Second oxidation is nothing but what? Dehydrogenation. So another enzyme acts. That enzyme is beta hydroxy acyl CoA dehydrogenase. What is that enzyme? Beta hydroxy acyl CoA dehydrogenase. But this time electron acceptor is not FAD. This is NAD. NAD. So that gets reduced to NADH plus H plus, and it also donates the electron to electron transport chain. There is a generation of water molecule, but during the process this generates 3 ATPs. Correct? Now what happens? This R CS2, so these hydrogen atoms are removed during the oxidation, and this becomes R C double bond O C H2, again C double bond O S COA. Now you can see this is alpha carbon and this is beta carbon. On the beta carbon, oxygen is attached. So oxidation process occurs on a beta carbon. That's why this whole process is known as beta oxidation of fatty acids. So during the last reaction, oh no, sorry, I forgot to write the name. This is called as a beta keto acyl coenzyme A. And during the last reaction, I will write the last reaction here over a thiolytic cleavage. The name of the enzyme is thiokinase. Thiokinase catalyzes this reaction, which converts this beta keto acyl CoA into two fragments. One, that is R CS2 C double bond O. During this reaction, coenzyme A, it reacts, so it becomes SCOA plus this structure is removed in the form of CH3 C double bond O S COA. Now this is what? This is the acetyl coenzyme A, which is the intermediate of central energy yielding pathway. So after glycolysis, when the pyruvic acid is formed, that pyruvic acid enters inside the TCA cycle through this intermediate known as acetyl-CoA. Now this acetyl-CoA is formed after such a one cycle. So already I explained when we consider one example, that is a palmitic acid, CH3, CH2, 14 carbons and COOH. So when this is oxidized by beta oxidation process, there will be generation of 8 acetyl-CoA molecules. So acetyl-CoA is a 2 carbon fragment. So after one cycle, this 2 carbon fragment is removed. And as the palmitic acid contains 16 carbon atoms, so after such a 7 cycles, it will take 7 cycles, repeated cycles, 7 cycles, then there will be generation of 8 acetyl-CoA molecules. And those acetyl-CoA enters into the TCA cycle. And all of you know, when they enters into the TCA cycle, they are catabolized. These 2 carbon fragment or 2 carbons of this acetyl-CoA, they are catabolized and they are removed in the form of carbon dioxide. Let us talk about the energetics of fatty acid oxidation. How much energy generated? For example, consider palmitic acid, CH3, CH2, 14, COOH. When this palmitic acid, it undergoes beta oxidation process, then it generates 8 acetyl-CoA, that is CH3, C double bond O, COOH. And when one acetyl-CoA, when it is catabolized through TCA cycle, it generates 12 ATPs. I'm talking about one. When one acetyl-CoA, it is catabolized through TCA cycle, it generates 12 ATPs. Now how many cycles are there? 7 cycles. And 7 cycles and 8 molecules of acetyl-CoA. So 8 acetyl-CoA molecules, when they will be catabolized through TCA cycle, then the total ATPs will be 12 into 8 is equal to 96. But simultaneously, in every cycle, there is a generation of one FADH2 and one NADH plus H plus. One FADH2 forms 2 ATPs and one NADH plus H plus forms 3 ATPs. Means in each cycle there is a generation of 5 ATP. How many ATPs? 5 ATPs. So how many cycles are there? 7. So 7 cycles into 5 ATPs. So that will be 35. Now you can sum up this. The total is 131 ATPs. But during the activation process, 2 ATPs, as I said, pyrophosphate is removed. So that pyrophosphate hydrolysis is nothing but what it is equal, they are equivalent to 2 ATPs. So those 2 ATPs are utilized for activation purpose of fatty acids. So we must subtract those 2 ATPs from this total ATPs. So after subtracting 2 ATPs from 131, so total is 129. So simply I can conclude with this that when one palmitic acid fatty acid chain, when it is catabolized through beta oxidation process, it generates 129 ATPs. You can simply imagine that how much ATPs are generated after beta oxidation process. I hope you must have understood what is meant by beta oxidation, how these steps are carried out, where